sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
I just choked down chocolate chip cookies and Grandpa's femur. Femur.
We make money now?
No, we had to pay
So
them.
this episode, it's just too slippery. I'm slicing everything.
Every time I swing my 5-iron, it goes up that guy's ass.
Welcome to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's your host, Jim and Foo.
Who is those?
These are my first ones of these.
Those
lemonades?
lemonade flavored ones?
They weren't too bad.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to do those with a Scoopy instead of just a normal bubbly. It's like 5% on top of stupid, which is a whole lot of stupid.
We got, I don't even remember what they are. We got some kind of seltzer drink at home, and I swear to you, it's 5%. One of them, it immediately just goes to me, and I'm like, woo!
Really?
Yeah. Ask Shanna if it's
There are a lot
crazy.
of, I try them like I try ciders.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not hot on this. I don't like the taste of stevia. Like, I don't like fake sugar.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want a soda in the quality of, quantity of sugar in a soda in a beverage either.
Yeah.
So it's like, hit and miss. And so that's, it's like you get what you get.
Those are a little bit sweet and sometimes a little tart.
Right.
But they're very
But they've
good.
got sugar, they've got cane sugar and stevia in it. So I think they're trying to
walk the line a little bit.
Your calories is what you're walking without too much fake processed flavor.
Yeah.
They're decent. We've tried, I try them, like I try Bloody Marys or whatever, just to see if the Bud Light seltzers are a thing now, which apparently get a ton of rave reviews. I haven't had a chance to try those. Have you?
It's Bud Light. I just feel
Bud Light? Yeah, I know. I feel
know.
like that just feels like trash to me.
I wouldn't buy Bud Light. I don't know why
Neither
I would
would
try the Bud Light.
I don't think
seltzer.
I've ever purchased Budweiser or Bud Light.
Or Coors Light. I wouldn't know.
No.
That's not my... I'm a craft beer. If I'm going to drink a beer, it's going to be a craft beer of some kind.
Right. And if you're going to listen to a podcast, you can listen to ours.
I don't
Welcome
always
to
listen to
Sad
podcasts.
Dad's Club podcast.
I don't always listen to podcasts, but when I do,
You listen to this one?
I listen to the Sad Dads.
I listen to this one at least 2 to 3 times a week.
You just can't get enough.
But that's because QA is a bitch.
And also, you just want to bump our stats, I'm pretty sure.
I listen to it in the raw outside of the fucking stats, so I'm not even doing like the needful and helping pad whatever numbers that we get.
Now,
I actually listen to the raw one and then the one straight from Final Cut.
Well, speaking of stats,
Yes.
we had our biggest month ever, which is, I want to say thank you to all the people listening.
Yes,
Ever.
thank you. Appreciate it.
By a leap. I don't know what happened, but somehow, somebody's listening to
We
the
hit
show.
some algorithm somewhere.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Or a bot.
Or a bot.
Maybe
Hey,
there's just a robot.
We didn't pay for it. Did
Yeah.
you see we got one of those mails?
Which one?
We got I think it was for YouTube though.
Uh-huh.
It was someone that was offering you pay money and they'll give you likes, unique views.
I don't remember seeing that
like 50 users, 100 users, 1,000 users at different pay scales. So you could literally pay to bump your stats.
That's crazy.
I'm like, wow.
I'll have to
I feel
check
like we maybe made it.
Maybe my
because now
spam.
we're getting solicited to get fake shit.
Yeah. Well, with the increase in listeners, we also had a small increase in
user mail.
Yeah, email from people, which
Right.
is kind of fun. SadDadsClubPodcast@gmail.com if you ever want to get a hold of
Right.
us. Which I thought it'd be kind of cool to read some of these.
I don't have it pulled up, so you're going to read them, and I'll comment.
Yeah. I mean, we've culled through. There's quite a few now.
We have highlights.
But we have some highlights. The first email, I just figured we'd get right into this.
Yeah.
Just
jump in.
Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Right.
It's from a dude named David Blaney, and he lives in Louisville, Kentucky. So I don't know how much we can trust anybody from Kentucky.
He's probably a picker and a grinner.
And he wants to know, Well, he says in his email, my wife is a huge fan of your show, which is kind of cool. I'm thinking, cool.
We
Like,
cross genders
and
age demographics.
Yeah, is he going to be asking for us to send his wife some stuff or maybe a shout out?
Right.
But it goes kind of sideways.
Okay.
He says, my wife is a huge fan of your show, and I love my wife, but she talks about you guys all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And ever since she started listening to the Sad Dads, you guys are all she wants to talk about, and it's becoming a huge problem.
Well,
and
Dave,
how can I get my wife to stop listening to your show?
Well,
that's his question.
As you probably heard a couple minutes ago, stats are really important, so I'm not going to give you any tips on how to. But we love your wife, and she loves the pictures we send her.
I just, yeah, for sure.
And we love the pictures she sends back.
I mean, tell her to tell a friend. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
We like baked goods.
Dave Blaney.
Maybe you can keep her busy doing something besides listening to the show. And
if you start doing the baked goods, though, you start putting on weight. That's a problem. Like, at least maybe. I mean, unless she's listening to the show doing baked goods. That's another.
Remind me to come back to the weight thing.
Okay.
Okay. So keep going.
All right. That one was. I don't know what to tell Dave.
I'm sorry, Dave, but we are sexy bitches.
Well, we do our thing.
Right.
We can't apologize for that, and we can't tell people to stop listening to our show.
No, I pull no punches.
Dave's wife.
And maybe if you listened a little bit harder, Dave, you would find that we're attractive to you as well.
Or maybe if you listen to us, you might understand what it is we offer that she likes so much, and then you could incorporate that into yourself.
Right. Just bake it right in, Dave.
Yeah. Become the foo and become the gym.
Right.
And then you're good.
Right. And then you're just getting pony rides.
That's right. Yeah. With a unicorn.
Or you're dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't wake up dead, Dave.
Don't fucking wake up dead.
So anyway, that was kind of interesting. So another email we got was a guy named Marcus, and he lives in Reno, which isn't actually that far away. So I'm a little...
Nevada's armpit.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of other places in Nevada that suck ass, but Reno's
the taint.
Of Nevada.
And it's the closest we can get to Vegas. It's like Vegas light. I think even, God.
I mean, we have a lot of places here that are comparable to Reno, though. I mean,
right.
Just talk
but
about
when you have Vegas,
Yuba City,
I think you're right. The way we talk about Yuba City, Marysville, is the way people in Nevada from Las Vegas talk about Reno. They're like, ooh.
Or Rio Linda.
Right. It's like, well, that's where the spam calls come from.
Yeah, exactly.
What? Yeah.
That's where all the sex, the telephone sex workers work.
Yeah. Do you want a discount on the hooker? Well, you go to Reno. What?
They just need business.
I'm just here for the Gordon Ramsay restaurant. Like, I didn't ask.
Oh,
say
that's
anything
in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't say fuck.
It's not in Reno.
Why am I at Circus with my pants down around my ankles?
With orange slop in front of me.
That's weird.
The buffet.
So you say there's a discount on the hookers?
Anyway. All right. Well, anyway, Marcus wrote into our email, saddadsclubpodcast@gmail.com.
You're heavy plugging.
He says, what do you sad dads do with your clipped toe and fingernails?
Fuck. Wow.
And then he goes on to tell us, I like to soak mine in water to soften them up for about a week.
Marcus?
Yeah.
This is
and
Marcus?
then I add them to pancake batter, and then
you gotta
didn't want to paste the
shit.
rest of that, but I just thought that was fucking creepy.
If
as
it's
shit.
anything like hair tarantulas.
That's true.
You know what that reminds me of? Did you watch both seasons of Stranger Things?
Yes.
Like the monster thing is like some amalgamation. It looks totally gross. And it reminds me of something that would be combining of a hair tarantula and a toenail clippings that are just left on the bathroom floor.
Well, maybe that's what Marcus is trying to avoid.
I try and clean up. And I try to clean up my bathroom, my toenail clippings and my whiskers, because I took heat from, where was that? I think you were there. We were moving Dragon and #HiDragon, #HiZombie. We were moving them. I think we were sitting in the backyard, and someone mentioned the whiskers from me, like shaving and trimming, and we were comparing the leftover whiskers of a man shaving his beard and face, but not from a, because the clippers, I don't go all the way down, so the whiskers are different. They kind of get sharded out when you're using a clipper.
Yeah.
And the hair tarantula.
Yeah.
I'm like, I try to clean up, and if I leave a whisker out because they're like tiny little splinters
There's
of
hundreds
things,
of them.
it happens, and I do my best to clean up. But the fucking hair tarantula is this bald mass of scary shit.
Of like feet long hair.
Like, yeah, I'll do my best. But then I feel like I got called out at that instance.
Yeah.
So I've been extra diligent of making sure that not only do I not get mocked for whatever toenail clippings that get left in the sink or as I clip stuff, but certainly not my whiskers, because heaven forbid, apparently now that shit's under the microscope, because I've made a shirt about hair tarantulas,
right?
And I rib and Piper's fucking got these epic hair tarantulas now, so that's a thing.
She's got the long hair.
So I don't know what to tell you, Marcus, but that shit's scary, and pancake batter is bad because waffles win.
Well, I don't think I want clippings in my pancake batter.
No, that's terrible.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like I'm kind of pedestrian. I'm very careful when I clip them so they don't go ping, and like I kind of put them in a little pile where I'm at, and then when I'm all done,
do you not clip them in the bathroom?
No. I never thought about just doing it in the bathroom.
Where do you clip your shit?
Well, sometimes I'm at work.
Really?
Yeah. And
so you have fingernail clippers with you?
A lot of time, yeah.
On your keychain or something?
No, I have a little clipper. This sounds weird.
Wow. Look at you.
I just have
a little metrosexual.
I have a little clipper pouch, and my problem is my fingernails, I feel like they grow super fast. So, like, sometimes it's just like, oh my God, they're driving me nuts. And then I'll have to, like, grab them and then I'll take them to work.
So you got, like, a little mani-pedi kit?
It's a little case that's got, like, toenail clippers and fingernail clippers.
It's okay. That's a mani-pedi kit.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It says fossil on it, so.
It's funny, because look at toenails. I am terrible about my toenails.
Yeah.
And so when we went to Hawaii the last time.
Yeah.
Usually when I get out of the shower, I'll just peel my toenails. I don't necessarily clip them, and so they're not attractive-ish. They're not manicured.
You're just shredding them off?
I just shred them off.
Oh, Jesus.
Right.
Use a clipper.
But I always use.
Are they sharp? They got to be sharp.
Not really. No.
Are you like tearing up your?
But I always
wife's
use clippers for
legs
my nails because I respect my wife.
Well, I have actual toenail clippers, and then I have another set that are for fingernails.
So,
are you just no?
No, I usually I don't. But
okay.
When I know that my feet are going to be exposed, like this one time we went to Hawaii, I made sure not to shred my toenails, and I clipped them, so that they were all nice and pretty. So when I was on the beach, no one would be like, "Oh God, oh my God."
Yeah.
And it was the weirdest thing because I was proud that I hadn't completely shredded my toenails. I don't have anything discolored or grotesque.
I'm just picturing like the scene in Dumb and Dumber where they go get.
Oh, and they're like with the grinder, angle grinder. It's like,
and like sparks are flying.
No,
off.
it's nothing. But it was, usually I certainly don't take care of my feet as well as I take care of my hands. I'll usually get to like a certain length. I feel like my fingernails grow faster as I getting older.
Yeah.
Is that me, or do
I don't
you
know.
feel the same?
Mine just grow fast all the time. It's just like I always feel like I just cut them, and then like 2 days later I'm like, oh my God, what the heck?
Yeah, I mean statistically your toenails grow slower because they're usually compressed and they're in confinement.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. But I feel like fingernails and toenails in general have grown faster as I get older.
Oh.
Anyway.
I don't know. I know my toenails seem to grow fast too. When I was younger, because I played a lot of soccer, so there was a lot of running
Oh yeah.
and soccer ball kicking and that kind of stuff. I would get hardcore like ingrown toenails.
Right. Oh yeah, and the impact on the nails in general.
And I would myself go in with like little scissors and like dig it out and get all. This sounds gross. It would get all pussy.
Well,
and
it's a
infected.
thing,
yeah.
right?
And I
haven't
would
had-
actually do it myself.
Yeah.
A lot of people would go have a doctor do that, but not me.
Yeah.
I just dig that shit out myself, and it
I
hurt
would
like
say since I've been running the last couple of years for like the marathon prep and whatnot, when I am running, I take better care of my toenails via clipping than just like peel
Well,
off.
that's one of the worst is if your toenails are too long and they're starting to dig into your
right,
because
they'll start to either blister or shred socks, or they
Or
start
your
to
other
create
toes.
real awkward pressure on your toes in general
Yeah.
because of how your whatever your running gait is.
Yeah.
So you got to keep on top of that as a runner for sure.
Yeah. So.
Anyway,
Marcus.
I don't want to hear your recipes about toenails, Marcus.
no.
Fuck off.
Yeah, fuck off with the what the fuck. People are weird, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't want to hear it.
All right, and so we're just gonna do one more.
Okay.
We got one from a guy named Ray Brecker in Graycliff, Montana.
We're reaching full scope.
Montana. Yeah.
Full
So he
domestic.
says, "Are you guys into manly things like saws and dirt bikes? Or are you pansies? Are you pansies too sad?"
Whoa. Who?
Ray
Ray?
Brecker in Graycliff, Montana. So he's in God's country up there.
Fuck off, Ray. I have the Raptor, and I've had a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And in fact, I was cleaning the shed that we have that we don't put
Use.
anything in.
Yeah.
And
I got some stuff to put in there. if you
Right.
want.
I have a 125 two-stroke cc engine from a Honda.
That's not attached to anything.
That's right. We removed Grant. #hi Grant if you get here. And I remember doing this too. John Colfax John had a dirt bike that was down here at the house, and we used to ride the quads and the motorcycle. John was a motorcycle guy until he got like a Rancher quad, which was funny. But his two-stroke 125 was down here at the house, and we sort of aged out of riding and full-time jobs and girlfriends, wives, and whatnot.
Sad dad
Shit happened. And Grant and I think we had this idea that we were going to take the two-stroke and we were going to like build a go-kart.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
And neither Grant nor I were really dirt bike guys. We were more quad guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I was definitely a quad guy. So we had asked John, like, "Hey, can we take the motor out?"
Yeah.
And he, who knows where his mindset was, but he was like, "Sure, whatever."
Yeah.
And so we did. And that was it.
He was like, "We got that fucker out."
Right. We win.
I'm
and
gonna
then
go home.
I think Grant moved on. He got another relationship. In fact, he may have met his current wife at the time, so he started to go that way.
Yeah.
And so now I've got a 125cc two-stroke Honda motor in a Rubbermaid with like all the fixins in the shed.
And spider webs.
And no current idea to put it in something. But I do have the Raptor, the 660.
I got a better idea.
What's that?
You should engine swap the RS with it.
With the fuck?
Yeah, dude.
With the Raptor?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I have a Raptor. I didn't realize that.
Put
Hashtag
a turbo
fuck off,
on it. Engine swap.
Anyway, so yeah,
I'm not really into motorcycles, and I'm not really into saws. But
saws, like chainsaws.
yeah, he says, "Are you into manly things like saws and dirt bikes?" I'm not into really either one. I mean, I use saws on occasion. I've never
saw?
ridden motorcycles.
Circular saw,
Any kind.
skill saw,
Yes, I've used them.
hacksaw.
Not really into them. But if you put saws on a dirt bike, Now you're talking.
Right, start shooting.
Oh yeah, you fucking, just
That
ride
reminds
down
me,
the.
Did you ever see
sidewalk.
the MythBusters thing that had the resistive sensor thing, where if you touch the table saw blade, it sent in a brake and it stopped before it cut your thing off?
Yeah.
God,
That's impressive.
That was a crazy episode. I can't remember which one of them touched the blade to prove that it. They did a hot dog a couple times.
Yeah. Well, what's funny about that is you wouldn't have to touch it on the sharp part. You could touch it on the side while it's spinning. You wouldn't have to.
Right. Really
touch the sharp part.
But in reality,
that's where you would touch it.
You would touch it on the tips.
Like the grounding of the blade and the sensor.
Causes
it just goes down and blocks the blade from turning anymore.
Yeah.
It destroys your saw.
Who was it that?
But it saves your finger.
I think it was Adam.
Was it Grant?
I think it was Adam. It was Adam and Jamie were doing it.
Oh, okay. That's impressive.
I think it was Adam.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. Anyway,
so.
Yeah, I'm a man's man.
Okay, Ray.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. I mean, I just assume if he's in, I don't even know where
Montana?
Gray Cliff, Montana is, but maybe he's a rancher.
I wouldn't mind living on a ranch. Right?
No.
No?
No.
Really?
Yeah, really.
No big sky? Even if you had high speed?
That's a lure, but I don't know, it's just not. I look at people who own a lot of property like that, and I just see the work involved, and I'm like, yeah.
Then you just have livestock, and the livestock keep it down. You get the Roseville goats to come out to Montana for you.
I mean, a lot of that is just livestock land. They're not maintained, but they got to maintain fences and.
Some of it, most of that shit's like dual decade capacity.
Just, it's not my thing.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
God, that's like peace of mind thing. I would do it in a heartbeat. In fact, Ian, posted a Facebook thing a week or so back saying that he was looking for a realtor for someplace out in Montana.
Oh, really?
I keep meaning to send him a thing like, dude,
moving? Is he moving, or
I don't know,
or is it just like he's looking for another?
He might be looking
like I just want a getaway cabin or something.
I don't know. I think he's got one less kid for child support, so he may be looking for a second, like a cabin. Fuck if I know, but in a heartbeat. I haven't been to Montana, but Venus's dad has. I would go in a heartbeat just to see, because I loved Wyoming. I loved driving through Wyoming. It was just big, open, just stretch.
Yeah,
and get away from stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm too much of a suburban kid. Sprawl.
What would you miss? So what's your
convenience? Probably
convenience.
Yeah, more than anything.
At
least I feel like you're sort of there's some connection here, whereas if you're just out on the prairie doing, I don't know. There's not that much appeal to me to have a bunch of property and livestock and.
It makes me wonder as like we get closer to like the, as we start to rotate out as the kids get a little bit more independent.
Yeah.
And we looked at like some of like the yard projects and whatnot. That's like, where do I want to see this space in 2 to 5 years? Because chances are the kids won't want anything to do with it. So what do I?
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at it from a perspective of less about
kid stuff,
less about family holistically, and more about like what would make Venus and I happy with what this space looks like in 2 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And that it's different.
It is.
As a dad, it's a little bit awkward to grasp too. It's like, well,
you mean doing something for myself?
Right.
What?
Right. And two, it's like, well, why wouldn't I plan because the kids will probably be moving on.
I mean, that's the goal, right?
It is.
Yeah.
But it's an awkward place to finally be after what you're looking at, Piper's being the oldest at 16. It's like for 16 something years, everything in every space that you do as a homeowner or as a parent, whether it's an apartment or a house, revolves around this space has to have utility for someone else that's younger. The evolution, certainly you more than me at this point, so you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, is like as kids go out and come back in, this space needs to be less guardrailed and more like, well, fucking all that's here is adults.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no slides, there's no but then you start to think, well, once you get 7 to 10 years past, both of your kids and at some point my kids will then potentially have kids of their own. So then it's like, fuck, I just rolled everything into an adult space
to
and
have
now
kids come
and
back.
now I've got grandkids.
Yeah.
So fuck. Right?
Well, that is what it is.
It's always rotating.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. So what do? Do you always leave like some sort of space for the tinies? I don't know.
I mean, we just kind of did that a little bit with the backyard,
Right.
because we put in that patio and ended up putting a fire pit back there.
Right.
And then sodding the rest of the yard and stuff like that. And so it's like sort of like I feel like our kind of grown up backyard,
Mm-hmm.
It's not catered to the kids really. And even stuff like house-wise, it's like, I mean, both the kids are living there now. Mellie's going to go back to school this weekend. But I always assumed that she would be back at some point. And
right.
She'll be back for holidays and stuff for sure. But I always presumed she would come back and live there for a while or whatever.
Right.
And then who knows? It's like Chandler moved out and came home. So it's like, who knows how long he's going to be around, with the whole pandemic thing.
Right.
So it's just like stuff's changed. It's like we were sort of like, oh, no one's here.
You were empty.
It's just the two of us.
Empty nesters. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just the two of us. This is cool, and the house was clean, and now it's not. You know what I mean? Yeah. So here's the kind of stuff that happens at my house. My in-laws are moving, so they had this extra queen-size bed, and of course Melanie raised her hand. Yeah, I want a queen-size bed in my room, and we're just like, what? So
what?
The twin that she had to get pulled out so that she could replace the queen, and somehow it fit in a room, which is crazy and all that shit. Well, that twin bed and the frame and all that shit were just out in the entryway. And
I was gonna say, where'd you put it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like it's like always just bullshit going on. It's like we can't ever get the house to the way that we want it and like keep it like that for a while. You know what I mean?
I keep meaning to. So we ran into something just like that. So the thing that I constantly run into as I get like free weekends and stuff. It's like, well, I come outside, I start cleaning the yard, I try to get ahead, but the maintenance, and the kids just seem to like can't be bothered.
Right. And also, really, when you think about it, it's your house.
Right.
When I like start thinking about, well, I'd love for Chandler. I'd love for Chandler to like mow more often or this or that. It's really not his house. He's living there, sure, and
right, but
he should be chipping in and helping out with stuff.
Right.
But at the same time, it's my yard. You know what I mean?
Right. But I would...
I bought that house.
I have an expectation that there's a little bit of everyone is participating.
Yeah.
I'm making the payments.
Yeah.
Along with Venus, but because we share stuff. But this is our place.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't expect Piper or Xander to just start landscaping something without asking. But there's a general expectation that as a family, everyone's got buy-in. When it seems like what happens is Daddy's doing all the buy-in, And then it's like, well, what'd you do today? Well, I was playing Roblox, and she was fucking looking at TikTok or YouTube shit all day. And it's like, so
I feel that
when I was in the country, chores up in Nevada County, chores were just like a
given, a part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
There wasn't necessarily an allowance because we didn't necessarily have a lot of money. It was just, this is life.
Yeah.
You feed
These things need to be done.
Feed the horses, water the dogs, feed the dogs.
I don't have any horses.
You know, do the things for the animals.
Yeah.
It's like, it was daily life. Clean your room, pick up the house, sweep the floor, stuff, mow the lawn.
Yeah.
These were your chores as part of the family. I can't seem to get the kids to grab onto that.
Yeah.
And what I think has come to me in the last couple days, so it's weird that we would be having this conversation, is that as Piper has started to get older and into relationships where she's going to friends' houses, which is something that happened teen years, like staying the night at friends' houses. While nothing in my home is a mess or a train wreck, I think it is, my next sell is, at some point when we come out of this pandemic and you want to have someone over, a girlfriend, or you want to have a boyfriend over for dinner, would you want them to see the house or the yard in the state that it's in? Because you can't go hide in your room.
Right.
So
I get that.
And so I think that's my next place to go with the kids. Xander's probably too young to get that, but it's flat out just going to start telling fucking dude to start doing more. But Piper, I think, is at that age that I was, where the optics of I would like you to come over and see my family and hang out in my house and stay at my house. I don't necessarily always have to go over to your house to stay the night, girlfriend, whatever. But in order for you to come over to my house, I wouldn't want you to see the recycling grocery bags that are on the back porch, or I would like to be able to sit underneath the pergola that's clean and doesn't need to be dusted off in a rush, and now you're in a panic and you put yourself in a bad mindset because you didn't do it and you have never done it, and you're looking at your dad and your dad's like, I did everything else for the last and I'm busy or I'm working. So I think that's my next place to go, and I think that'll bite with Piper.
See, I'm like one of these. I'm the kind of person where someone like Chandler will leave. He's very poor about following through and finishing stuff, so he leaves things around. I'll give you an example. So the front of the house has a little shelf on it, right around the front window.
Yes, I've left envelopes of Sad Dad's gas money cash on it before.
Yeah, exactly. So, Red Bull can. I don't drink Red Bull. Shannon doesn't drink Red Bull. Melanie doesn't drink Red Bull. There's only one person in the house that drinks Red Bull. That would be Chandler. Red Bull can goes on that shelf. That fucking thing will sit there for... It's on the front of the house.
Right.
Quite visible.
Right.
Red Bull can.
Red Bull.
It will sit there for...
Not a sponsor of the Schroeder household.
No, not at all.
A beverage.
But it will sit there for 2 weeks. Easy. And it's just like, well, I'm going to leave that there because fuck it. I'm not a fucking maid.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And that's how I approach shit. It's like, oh, you're going to fucking leave your shit here?
Yeah.
I'm not your fucking maid.
So, what was it? Last episode, we talked about how this space, the studio, is multi-purpose room for the kids. Piper and Xander both are using it to some capacity for PE and Piper for dance. So Piper will roll out a yoga mat. And I'll be honest, I pulled the curtains back at the end of the day, pulled the curtains back, pulled the car in, didn't even realize that she had left the yoga mat like in the garage floor.
Yeah.
I pull my car in.
Yeah.
With the ring stuff that we talked about in the last couple episodes, like people are breaking into cars, stealing shit. So I pull my car in the garage.
Absolutely.
There's no reason to leave it out.
Yeah.
There's space here. So I drove up onto the yoga mat, and then the next morning, she's like, I need you to, pull the car out. So pull the car out of the garage. Huge ass fucking tire marks on the yoga mat. I'm like, shit happens.
Yeah. Don't leave it there.
Right.
Yeah.
And no one said anything to me, but it was like, shit happens.
Yeah.
I think next day or 2 days later, it got left. I think I ran into the weekend. I think it came over into the weekend. So it must have been like a Friday-ish. So I got to the weekend. I'm cleaning up the garage, and my car was out of it, but the yoga mat was still here, left over. I picked up the yoga mat, and I literally just walked it into the house and set it in front of both kids' rooms. Because at the time, I didn't know if it was left over. Maybe Xander used it for his PE. Could have been.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. No judge. Or could have been Piper's dance. I don't give a fuck. But the yoga mat was left, and I couldn't pull my car in. I don't want to have to buy another yoga mat. Both my kids don't.
Because you will, right?
Right.
Even though you didn't leave it there.
Right.
You drove over it.
Dad, I can't work out on the yoga mat because your car is leaving.
Michelin doesn't like me.
Right, and it's leaving black marks, and the kids are making fun of me. Fuck. I'll buy you a new yoga mat. But anyway, so I just left it in the house, and I put it right in, and Piper at some point came out of her room. She's like, so I need to roll this up? And I went, yes. You win. I don't give, between you and your brother, don't care. Put the mat away.
Yeah.
Because,
sorry.
Damn. Like what?
No, it's a
thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, accountability. I'm like, you're gonna clean this up.
Yeah. The worst is when it's something that impacts me. It's like my car and my wife's car go in the garage every day. That's where they go.
Right.
So, because there are 4 cars at my house right now, and I only have a 2-car garage. So there's Chandler was parking right in front of the house, and the front of the house is covered with cameras, so that's important.
Right.
That we can see what's going on. So Chandler was parking there. Well, since Melanie's car has arrived, she's parking where Chandler parks, and Chandler now parks his car in the driveway.
Okay. Behind who?
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. So it's a constant
shuffle game.
Hey, man, I want to fucking get out of the garage. Literally. Can you move your car? Or if he's asleep, I got to go fucking get his keys and just move his fucking car so I can get my own car out of the damn garage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so frustrating. It's my fucking house that I work every day and pay for. But yet, I got to fucking get your dumb car out of the way so I can get my fucking car out of my own fucking garage. Am I in an apartment?
Yeah.
Are you paying rent? No. No, you're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very frustrating. And I understand why the car's in the driveway.
Right. There's a security thing.
I get all that stuff.
Right. But still.
Yes.
Would like to move my car at my leisure on my whim.
Yeah, and the thing is that the car shifts back and forth based on who might need to leave in the morning.
Right.
And I'm working from home, so there literally are multiple days that get strung together where I don't get my car out of the garage at all.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But
the instance that you want to move it.
Yeah, then it's like I open the door and go,
fuck.
God damn it. You know?
Yeah. Sad dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not saying this is good. Melly's going to go back to school this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And so he can go back to parking on the street right in front of the house for all,
and camera. So he'll still be covered by a camera, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's been a frustrating several months. And I think it was last night I went out to go and get into my car for something. Walk around the back of the car, and his golf clubs are sitting right in the middle of the garage between the CRV and the ATS.
Mm-hmm.
Right in the way. don't bother putting them away.
Oh boy.
Just put them right at the back of the garage in between the two cars so that nobody can A, back out, or B, walk down the middle to get to the workbench, or...
Yeah, you just need to do the yoga mat thing where you pick up the bag
But I shouldn't have to touch that shit at all.
Well, you could put them in the garbage bin too. You'd be like, fucker.
That's just the kind of shit that fucking irritates the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember one time, it was shortly after we got the fire pit, he had some friends over, and the next morning, it looked like a frat party was out back. Oh. There were fucking cans all over the place, and I'm just like,
dude,
really, man? Oh.
Right.
Oh my God, total frustration.
How did I miss this lesson as a dad to not teach? And that's the thing too. I run into this, like, I feel like I've been teaching these lessons of like common sense, like, and I can't. It's like, I got it.
Are you in your bedroom? No. Why is your light on? That's a conversation that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Why is your light on? I'll look down the hall and see Mellie's light on, and I'll look over and she's sitting on the couch. I'm like, are you in your room right now? And she'll be like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, go turn your fucking light off.
Slap you in your room.
Yeah. Oh, you will be in your room by yourself.
I'm going to remove your light bulbs.
Oh my gosh. Just very frustrating sometimes.
Barn door.
And I would think as they get older, they would just be like, oh yeah, that's kind of bullshit. And Mellie, I mean, she's working really hard. She's got school going on. She started an Etsy shop, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
She is making some good money on this Etsy. I'm impressed.
I saw.
I'm totally
I linked
impressed.
Her shop on the YouTube episode, like 18 to something, 20 something bucks for bracelets and earrings. Yeah. I'm like, fuck it.
After the show,
don't
forget. I'll tell you how much. I mean, she's doing pretty well. I was impressed. I'm like, I'm going to give you the Sad Dads Club podcast like logins and let you go. And she's like, I don't know what I would do. But anyways.
Yes.
She's working hard. She's got an Etsy shop. She's making jewelry. She's actually making money at that. I mean, I can't fault her with that. But the jewelry making stuff is now all over the house.
Oh.
Right?
Yes, she has a...
And I got really upset with her. I'm just like, why is this stuff all over the place? Like, I can't sit here because your shit's here. This is all over the floor, the table out in the front of the house, in the kitchen.
Right.
A nightmare. And she's like, well, I've been working. It's like, yeah, I get all that. I mean, I work all day too, but my shit's not all over the house.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so she gets defensive very easy. And I'm like, I go, how about this? Why don't you, when you move back to school, when you're with your roommates, just do the same thing you're doing here, there. Let's see how that flies with all your roommates.
Right.
Let's see how that works, because honestly, this is my house and it just pisses me off.
So I would be curious to see if that actually changed. Like, I think that's what's peculiar to me. I think in a different environment,
it wouldn't be okay, and she wouldn't do it.
And she wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So there's like a casualness.
There's
like,
a spread out of
Mom and Dad won't really bust my balls, and so it happens. But you would perceive that it would not get out of hand with roommates that were not her parents, right? So she knows the lesson.
She knows the limit.
Right.
And the lesson. Yeah.
But has zero fucks.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand.
The mind.
What I don't understand is, okay, fine, you want to work at the table. That's no problem.
Right.
You set your shit up. You work at the table. When you're done, you pack your shit back into the toolbox and all your stuff.
Right.
You pack it back up, and it goes back in your room. This is your stuff. This isn't like I'm making money off of this stuff, but yet it's taking up all this room in my house.
Right.
I mean, if you want, I can take a cut, and then we'll call it even.
Right. And then I have no bitches.
Yeah. But that's not what's happening,
Right.
So it's just like a frustrating situation, because it's like I feel like this is something that we have been over and over and over and over and over
right
since day one.
Mhm.
It's not like this is a new conversation. But I always thought as the kids got older, they would have more understanding and be able to reason better. But also, there's just some like, I don't give a shit kind
right
of laissez-faire
like a
sort of thing about it.
safety net that seems to it'll be okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because I'm here.
Right.
It's like, it does matter. It bothers us when the house is a mess because your shit's all over the place and you don't bother to pick up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm trying to nip that in the bud now.
Yeah, no.
I'm trying.
We've worked. It's not like
I
we
can
haven't
tell you, the
said
struggle
anything.
is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. It's like, I feel like Chandler's 23. I shouldn't have to say shit to him. He's 23.
Right.
He has moved out and lived on his own, so he knows what this is like in his own place.
Yeah.
Yet when he moves back into our house, does nothing to help out whatsoever. And it's like, dude, this place is running because your mother and I are doing all of the shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. On Saturday, we ran in the morning. Venus and I did. It was a long run. And because we did it in the morning, we left before the kids had gotten out of bed yet. And we came back from the run, which is its own thing. And Xander is usually early to rise, and then on weekends he'll go into watching some stuff after breakfast, and that's his thing. But he had taken the time to eat breakfast and then put his bowl in the sink and then go straight deep diving into whatever Pokemon Roblox thing that he was working on.
Yeah.
And we had come back from the run, and Venus was already in a bad headspace. And so she looks into his room, made it to the kitchen. So she's already on the warpath and looks in the sink and sees a cereal bowl and walks into his room like, if you have enough fucking time to get into your room, like, you could have washed your bowl. Like, why didn't you wash your bowl?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
There's no time limit. You didn't have to get to school to a Zoom meeting.
Right.
You're done eating. Wash your bowl. Put it away.
Yeah.
It's easy.
I think the only people at our house that are technically allowed to do dishes are myself and Shanna.
Right. It's very weird.
I don't understand.
How's that work?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, I've washed dishes professionally.
Yeah.
I got paid to wash dishes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm done fucking washing dishes.
Yeah.
But yet, Venus cooks, I'll wash dishes. I cook, Venus washes dishes.
We're a team
Both
effort
of my
all the
kids,
time.
Piper's like looking to try and get like a vehicle. I'm like, I can't get you to wash dishes.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And Shanna hates to do dishes. She worked at...
I'm done doing dishes. I do not want to do any more dishes.
Shanna, when I first met her, way back in high school, she was working on Douglas. There was a restaurant called Stuffed Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And she worked at Stuffed Pizza, and she hated doing dishes, and they would have her doing dishes sometimes, or bussing tables or whatever, and she just hated the wet food and that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And that stuff never really bothered me.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing a lot of dishes, and even when I was a restaurant manager, there were nights where it was like, hey, you can run the kitchen tonight. I need to take a break out of the kitchen on this Friday night, and I will do dishes tonight. So whoever's in whoever was planning to be on the dish room, you're in the kitchen tonight, and I'm gonna run I'm the manager,
right?
And I'm going to run
I'll run the water.
Exactly.
Good to go.
So that totally doesn't bother me at all. I mean, it does it's sometimes a little bullshitty that I'm like the main person that does the dishes, but also it's like, it's just something that needs to be done. And there are times where I'm just like, yeah, your mom and I worked real hard on this, so it's you guys.
Yeah.
You guys are doing
100%
the dishes tonight.
Yes.
And we'll get them to trade off, but it's not, they don't volunteer. It's almost like I have
everything
to beg
has
them.
to be a prod.
Yes.
Or a reminder.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's frustrating. And I always think that, like, my kids as they got older would want to help out or be invested in the family. And
I'm not sure how I can. convey that lesson harder than it was conveyed to me, because it didn't feel like I was like always being whiplashed by my dad.
Yeah.
To like pick up, do the dishes.
Yeah.
It always seemed like this is my part.
Yeah.
Please help out. This is.
I don't know. We haven't obviously taught the lesson well.
Apparently not. I'm still struggling.
Yeah, it is not.
Yeah.
It's not a thing that comes easy for sure.
Yeah.
A little frustrated by all that, but those are the things that are irritating. And it's not so bad if it's just Shan and I, because we know we empty the dishwasher, we load the dishwasher. It's like it's just our shit. But around our house, it's like 30 cups a day get taken down out of the cabinet, and I'm like 1 glass a day guy. Like I get the glass down, I use that glass all day long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get some water. Okay, the glass goes on the counter. That's my glass for the day. But I don't know what it is, but these guys are like pulling down a cup every half an hour out of the cabinet.
Where'd that cup go? I don't know. Use a new cup.
And it's like the dishwasher is dirty. You could just put it right in the. It's not that much harder to like. Just open the door and put it in the top rack. It's right there.
Yeah.
You know, just put it in the dishwasher. You know. It's too complicated. I don't know.
It's fucking wizardry and magic.
Yeah. I don't know. So that's where I get frustrated.
It was it's easy to get. Like for the last couple episodes, we talked like positive and whatnot, leading into what we were talking about Saturday. So Venus got into a bad headspace. We went out for a run.
Yeah.
And a couple miles. What was funny about it was we got maybe a mile or change into it, and her watch like wanted to update. So it starts kicking into like an update while she's running.
Oh, that's weird. So she's running like I assume she's running a fitness tracking thing with it.
Right. So she's both of ours are Garmin's.
Yeah.
So but I'm pacing her. So she's whatever data she's getting is just to make sure that she's getting essentially credit for the run. It was 7 miles.
Yeah.
So we head out. 1.5 miles or even a mile into it, her watch starts updating. Somewhere,
which is kind of funny to think about that.
Right. So we get about a little bit more than halfway into it, and we're coming across the corner here at Mahaney, and she's doing fine, but her watch is telling her that she's got probably 2.5 miles left when really it was only 1.5 miles left.
Yeah.
And we get to the light, and we got stuck at like a crosswalk thing. So we're like standing there, and I'm moving my feet, and you could see she was wrecked. She was just in a bad headspace. She's like, I'm never gonna make it. I'm tired. And then we've got 4 more miles fucking left. And I kind of looked at her like, no, it's okay. We don't. We've only got like 1.5 miles to 2 miles. We're fine.
Yeah.
But she didn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Her data said something way beyond what she thought she had, and she was tired, which is fine. And she trucked on through it, and we got to the end, and as we came down the street, we hit 7 miles. And usually our watches are off because I do like a 30-second to 2-minute warm-up. So sometimes we're off by like 0.5 mile or less between the two of us. Mm-hmm. So she'll finish before I do. So we're coming down the street. I hit my 7 miles, but she's still trucking behind me. And so I stop, put my hands up, kind of cool down thing. And she starts kind of running past me. And I'm like, "You're done, sweetie. Like, we're good. Yeah. 7 miles. We're done." And she's like, a hate face. She was a hate face. Like, I've got a fucking mile and something to go.
Oh, my God.
And I went, "Sweetheart, you're done. If I hit 7 miles, you hit 7 miles.
Yeah.
Unless you fucking hopped in a car when I wasn't looking and skip 2 miles.
Yeah.
If I'm done, you're done. And you could see that she was in such a wonky headspace that it did not register. She was just like fucking yoked down she was upset.
Oh, man.
And that put me in like a pissed off mood.
Yeah.
Because it was like,
yeah.
It's okay.
She felt unconsolable.
Right.
Yeah.
There was nothing I could do. And you know, and it was like,
there's nothing worse than that.
Right.
Feeling.
And what made it weird, even more awkward, was that we had just cranked out 7 miles.
Yeah.
Which up until we started August 1st, we haven't missed a workout. She's trucked through all of it.
Yeah.
7 miles was the longest distance we had run, and she did it without walking. It was a good pace.
Nice.
She did amazing.
Yeah.
And then when we got back into the house, and I was like, good job. And she was just like, fuck off.
Fiery.
Wanted nothing to do with it. And so it was like,
oh, man.
What's going on right now? Like, we did good. But because such a small thing, it's like the little things. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to walk away until you can unsquare this.
Yeah.
But it seems easy in the place that we're at now to get lost in a bad headspace because there's so many things going on right now. Pandemic, elections, politics, emotions, school, parenting, job security, like all of these things. And
we had this conversation for about last week, right? I told you last Monday, not this week, but last week.
Right.
I told you last Monday, man, I was in I don't get like that often. You know, sometimes it's like you just get overwhelmed.
You have bad days or whatnot. Yeah.
But
absolutely.
I had that one of those. I understand exactly what that is.
Right.
I had one of those days where I think I told you I literally just wanted to just get in my car, not say anything to anybody, leave, and maybe, I don't know, drive it off a cliff somewhere.
Yeah.
And not give a shit.
And it's rough as like a parent too, because it was like, there wasn't the couple things that I tried to say.
Yeah.
Just were unreceptive.
Oh yeah.
And that's fine, but the household needs to move on. So it was like I have to detach until, and I think we ended up going grocery shopping later. And she said, "I woke up on the wrong side of the bed."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, okay, but that was terrible. Like,
yeah,
you know, like it's okay. We can move past it, but to like, well, let's not get bogged down.
Don't dwell on it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's.
I have to admit, I was impressed. My wife, her dad's birthday is tomorrow. He turns 80.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's his 80th birthday, and she's been frustrated by a couple of things. The fact that it's like a pandemic kind of situation.
Yeah.
And birthday parties aren't really a thing, and it's his 80th birthday, and so there's a couple things that happened that kind of upset her. But she had been planning on doing some stuff for like family sort of try to get together tomorrow night. So she went to Amazon and ordered a bunch of like 80th birthday party
right.
things, and this is like cake topper stuff and like a banner and you know, stuff like that. And she ordered them with enough time for Amazon to deliver on their delivery date,
right,
with I think a day or two to spare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not here.
And so she gets an email yesterday. Good news. Your package is going to arrive on the 5th. Tomorrow's the 3rd.
Oh, no.
And by that time, that purchase is completely useless.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense on 2 days after
the party's
birthday.
Over.
Yeah, it's
literally
gone. So she got on a phone call with Amazon and lit up the computer system, which is like a automated. I understand human conversation, so please tell me what you're. And she just lit the thing up, and
yeah.
I
got something for your fucking AI.
Let me get exactly.
Yeah.
Let me get a representative for you. And she's like, yeah, you. And we were in the car, and she was just lighting up this computer, and then she got this woman on the phone, and my wife nicely explained what was going on, and the woman, like, you could tell she had the heart for her, like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, that is ridiculous, and she did everything that she thought she could at the time to, like, try and figure out a way for any of that stuff to get delivered earlier.
Right.
I mean, it was already shipped. It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it's in transit.
And this is where we're at now with, I mean, we pay for Prime. Prime is 2-day delivery.
Right.
When was the last time you had a 2-day delivered Prime package? Now, you're not paying for shipping, but you're also not getting the thing that was promised to you.
Right.
And, I mean, that's okay. We're all in this thing.
Right.
And it's like, okay, these are just, there's problems in a lot of the channels, and things are delayed. And, I mean, I kind of get that stuff. But when you think you've ordered with enough time to spare, and you can't even get those things, it's like that woman, like, okay, I'll process a refund for you. You know, like, I'm so sorry. And, but she handled it very well, got off the phone and she got a really nice email from that woman.
Oh.
Like, apologizing, and you handled that so well. And I thought, man, she really did. Because I expected her to be flying off the handle with this person on the phone.
Like, my dad's fucking turning 80.
Yeah. I mean, that was part of the conversation, but she didn't really lose it.
Right.
You know, more disappointed, and knowing that it was the situation that we're in, it's like.
The heavy bag, which you can't see back here, is like the second. That's the third. The third heavy bag that I tried to order.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were they all canceled or something?
The first one was canceled, lost in Colorado. The second one made it to Rockland, the Rockland warehouse, but never left the facility. And at that point, I got contacted. So the first one was like we lost it, instant refund.
That sounds like a sizable package.
It is. It was the first one was 50 pounds, but this is a 75-pound heavy bag. So the first one was 50, and it was like an instant refund, like lost in Colorado.
Yeah.
Here's your money back, game over.
Yeah.
Second one that was lost in Rockland was it went, oh, it's coming soon, your thing's delayed. It's been delayed so long, you can start working on the Amazon process of getting a refund or reshipment.
Yeah.
And I had hemmed and hawed on starting that because I'm like, I don't know how many hoops are fucking involved here, and I don't really have the time right now. But I think I waited 2 days after the last time to get the bag, and I went, it's not coming.
Yeah.
So I clicked a button to, like, process, blah, 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 and it's like, oh, it kicks off an email. Like, we'll email send your message, and it emails the vendor. And I said, hey, like, this is my second attempt at a bag. This is the second lost bag.
That's kind of crazy,
It's something that I'm trying to have here in the house as, like, a PE cardio thing for the kids because they're not going to school. And no one can go to the gym. Not that I would go to a gym, but it's something that I wanted to have as an option. I said, school started. I don't have a bag. This is my second one.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time. And the person was, like, really receptive. They're like, but yet at the same time, like, following protocols with Amazon. They're like, well, we'll spin up a case with UPS, and they'll contact you.
Are you on a
ship
blacklist?
Right, to jump through the hoops as to start an investigation. And I went, whatever, fine, fucking start it. And I think the next day, I got a call on the landline here at the house from a UPS person, like, hi, this is blah, blah, blah from UPS, tracking your lost shipment of a heavy bag of blah, 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 blahs, and just trying to reach out to you to see any more details about the case. And I went, fuck, okay, so now I got to get on a phone.
You mean this detail that it's not here?
Right.
That's the only detail you need to know.
Shit ain't here, bro.
I don't have it.
And I went, fuck, okay, so when I get done with work, I've got to call this to say, yeah,
I don't have it.
It ain't here.
There's the detail.
It's lost. Fucking there you go.
Yeah. And how do you not know where it's
But
at?
before I got to end of the day, the contact person for the vendor had sent me a thing basically saying, UPS says the case is closed because they can't find it and they don't know what happened to it. What would you like me to do? And I said, I would like the bag.
Yeah.
Send me the fucking bag.
It's the third attempt now.
Right. And so they did, and it came.
Did they ship it FedEx?
Yeah, they shipped to UPS. It came like
Third time's
three
the
or 4
charm.
days, and finally got it.
Yeah.
But it was like, I mean, it was like a month ordeal.
Was it one of these things where it was like, this box is heavy, fuck this guy?
It
And
could have been.
They're kicking
I
it.
imagine the lady that dropped it off, they wheeled it up on a dolly, because I was like, I mean, I can pick it up. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Okay, guy.
But I had wondered, like, how is the UP? Because I think our driver has changed from a middle-aged guy like myself to like a woman that probably is maybe $125. I mean, it would be probably an effort. Not that there's not powerlifting women.
That's over half of her weight.
Right.
Yeah.
So I had wondered, like, I wonder how it's getting up here. Will someone just clean and jerk it and
Just,
leave
like,
it on the porch?
roll
But
it
no,
up the
they
driveway?
dollied it up and
Yeah.
then tipped the dolly over, and it just kind of
Funk.
flopped onto the porch. And I went, oh, well, that's how they did it.
You're like, is my package here?
I guess that sounded like 75 pounds. All right,
Yeah.
fucking right on. That's probably why it got lost in the fucking Rockland. Somewhere there's
Probably
like,
the box broke up, or
a heavy bag of.
I bet you that's what happened. The box broke up,
I
and
ain't
probably
putting this on a truck.
the
Fuck
label the label got jacked up or something. They
Could've
couldn't
been.
read it.
that. Yeah.
I mean, I've ordered something that said it was going to be here Sunday. Still not here. It's Wednesday. I don't know. You know, like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
And it's not going through these sorting machines that are getting lost, but you can tell that there's logistical problems going on with.
Well, I kind of wonder
Shipments.
if it's because it seems like the shipping time isn't necessarily always terrible, other than the post office. But the shipping time, if it's like with the UPS or somebody like that those times have been okay. But what I've noticed is, like, I'll place the order and then it's supposed to be here in 2 or 3 days, maybe 3 days. And it's like, it just won't ship. It'll be like it hasn't shipped
Right.
yet. So it's like, I think the channel is like jacked somewhere, you know, like.
I think too, and sometimes I forget. That I presume that there are extra protocols relative to COVID in place,
Mhm.
where
Well, and
that's the sorting part is from a warehouse or moving once it gets to a hub. That sorting part is probably also logistically compromised as far as efficiency because of COVID.
Well, there's that, and also I think the supply chain, like, before it gets to the warehousing situation,
right. That
that
too.
whole thing has been broken down to a certain extent.
Yeah.
To where, like, the warehouses stuff is depleted because people have ordered this stuff and it's gone out, but it hasn't been replenished.
Right. Yeah.
And now the supply chain's messed up because the companies that are trying to backfill these channels can't, because they can't get stuff from China,
Right,
or
right,
they
right.
can't. There's all these problems.
There's
right?
like a trickle.
Yeah, it's a trickle down.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's what we're seeing more than anything. I don't think necessarily that I could put a blame on UPS. The post office is a whole nother bottle of wax. But UPS and FedEx and, you know, Prime Delivery, those guys have all seemed like they've done fairly well. But the side of it from, I think,
and I've accepted it. I'm not necessarily angry about it, but it's like it does seem like I tend to keep forgetting it, and I always get reminded, like,
that thing's not here.
I needed that thing. Like, I'm sure
Yeah.
Shan, like, how much time should I be baking into something? Like, if I'm paying for a 2-day service, and
That's the
I
thing.
buy something out a week or even a week and a half to try and be safe, and I'm still not getting it 2 weeks out.
So really, the whole thing about Prime,
awkward.
the whole thing about Prime now is it's not even there's no guaranteed ship times. So it's really, you're just getting your shipping included. You're just not paying for it.
Right.
So you're only getting half of what you really signed up for. You're not getting it's Prime 2-day.
Right.
Or, I mean, even key deliveries, which is I don't know if you're not familiar with key deliveries, is where they can, like, I have a garage door opener thing that's tied to my Prime account, and they can open my garage door opener with the smart door, put it in the garage, and put it down. Key deliveries are few and hard. I mean, they're impossible to find. I think I found one in the last 5 months that was an actual key delivery where they put it in the garage.
Well, I could see that from a COVID standpoint. They probably don't want anybody crossing into anything, space.
No, I mean, I get it. I mean, they're there. They're just very few. And I think I don't know how they decide what things are keyable, because not everything is. Maybe it depends on what warehouse they're sourced from or something like that.
Could be. Makes sense.
But it's just really interesting to see how how it's all kind of played out. And it's sort of like, I feel like Amazon's making money hand over fist, and if they don't do something for customers, there's probably going to be some kind of backlash, I would imagine.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only get so far without someone making a reasonable argument. It's like, okay, listen.
Your next year is a third or a half or something.
Right. Because, the terms of service includes 2 days, of which, relative to the pandemic, we didn't adjust your fees, but we appreciate your reasonable expectation, understanding that 2 days relative to supply chains as well as logistics were fluid through this period. Here's a knockdown. I think the further we get, the more that becomes, I would presume, intellectuals or people trying to make payments are going to be like, well, if I'm not getting the service, then what am I paying for? I'll just I'll buy Prime when things come back in.
Yeah.
And if you're not watching any of the shows, well, then you're not missing anything, because you're not getting 2-day,
right?
Which is usually or free shipping.
That's one of the key things that people like about Prime, I would think.
Yeah.
I don't think you sign up for Prime and be like, oh, I'm just getting it for the TV. Hell no, you're getting it because you get free shipping and you get 2-day shipping.
I do like me some Prime shows, though. Fuck. I'll admit.
No, I'm not saying they're. I mean, you use it because it comes as part of the package.
Yes, absolutely.
The reason why you signed up initially probably wasn't Prime. Prime
2-day
TV,
free shipping.
Yeah, the Prime TV didn't even exist, so it's like that was just like, oh, by the way, we're including this with your service. And it's like, oh, well, cool. As long as I keep getting my free shipping and my 2-day, I'm good. And you're not getting that anymore.
No.
I mean, like I said, it's fresh. What's frustrating to me is when you look at the listing and it says
Prime.
Delivered on Sunday, Prime.
Right.
And you're like, fuck yeah, I want that by Sunday.
Right.
Definitely. Or I'm ordering that because it will be here by Sunday.
Right.
I need it.
I have a project.
I have a thing.
I have a thing.
Yeah. And then you order it with the good faith that it's going to do what it says it's going to do on the fucking listing.
Right, because I'm a busy dad.
Yeah, because shit's going on. And then suddenly it's like, oh, by the way,
you were going to replace those lights, but now you're fucking raking leaves, bitch.
Yeah. It's not coming. Not only is it not coming on the day we said it was going to be here, but it hasn't even shipped yet.
It's going to come next week when you have to work and you don't have the time to do it.
Yeah.
So you're going to get to stare at the box.
Yeah, you think it's going to be here by the weekend, but it'll be here Tuesday. And then you can stare at the box until the next weekend when you can think about when you're actually going to be doing that work in the next weekend.
Right. Try and make
if
your
you
kids do it.
didn't already have plans.
Right.
Fuck you, Prime.
God damn it.
So I was telling you about the chat group I have with Jen, hashtag hi Jen.
We're going to
Jen
end
McDonald,
it here.
And Joyce. And
Maybe.
Joyce is driving for Prime. So I sent a screen capture to her and I said, hey, Joyce, I got a message. Can you pass this along to Jeff? and it was the screenshot of it being like, oh, by the way, your shit's not going to be here for another 4 days.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, here's my message, and it was just the middle finger emoji.
Yeah.
And I was
Pass
like,
this on to your boss.
yeah, can you send that to Jeff and just let me know, what he has to say?
Yeah.
And
How's your?
we had
is this gonna?
yeah, we had a good chuckle about
Can
that.
I have anything?
Yeah.
The well, yeah, that's good. We'll end it there. I got nothing. My story is like 10 minutes long, and we'd be crushing it.
Oh crap!
Yeah.
All right.
Just beware of turkey vultures. That's all I have to say. We'll cover it next week, I'm sure.
Yeah. Wear the mask.
Wash your ass.
Wash your hands. Return the cart.
Return the cart. And register to vote.
Register to vote. There we go.
We'll catch you next week.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for listening.